The Israelites, led by Moses and Aaron, had just received the report of the promised land. The news was promising. A land flowing with milk and honey awaited them, a land of abundance, fertile and ripe for the taking. But rather than rejoicing, a wave of fear swept through the camp. Despite the favorable report, the Israelites found themselves trembling at the prospect of what lay ahead. The cause? 10 of the 12 spies sent to scout the land returned with tales of daunting inhabitants, mighty and fearsome. These 10 spies painted a picture of insurmountable odds, of giants dwelling in fortified cities. Their report was not false, but their perspective was tainted by fear. The people's courage crumbled under the weight of this fear. Their faith in God's promise wavered. They forgot the miracles they had seen, the plagues that had ravaged Egypt, the parting of the Red Sea, the manna from the heavens. They forgot that the same God who had delivered them from the hands of Pharaoh had also promised them this land. So they rebelled. They rebelled against Moses and Aaron, their appointed leaders. They let their fear dictate their actions, allowing it to breed discontent and rebellion. "Wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt?" they lamented. They even considered choosing a new leader to guide them back to the land of their oppression, back to the land of their suffering. Only 2 voices stood against this tide of fear and rebellion: Joshua and Caleb, the 2 spies who had seen the same land, the same giants, but had not let fear cloud their judgment. They pleaded with the people, urging them to trust in God's promise, to remember His power. But their words fell on deaf ears. Fear had gripped the hearts of the Israelites, and they rebelled against their leaders, even considering to return to Egypt. A decision that would have far-reaching consequences, setting the stage for what was to come in the chapters that followed. In the midst of chaos and rebellion, Moses stands as a beacon of faith. As the people of Israel rebel and falter in their faith, Moses emerges as an unwavering pillar of devotion and loyalty. His unwavering faith in God and his love for his people shine brightly throughout this tumultuous chapter. In this scene, we witness the power of intercession as Moses steps into the gap for the people of Israel. He pleads with God, not for his own sake, but for the sake of his people. This is a moment of profound selflessness where Moses puts the needs of his people before his own. Moses' plea to God is a heartfelt cry for mercy and forgiveness. He reminds God of his promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, appealing to his covenant faithfulness. Moses pleads, "Lord, let your anger and your fury be turned away from your people whom you brought out from the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand." His words are not only a plea for mercy, but they also serve as a reminder of God's promises and his unfailing love for his people. But Moses doesn't stop there. He goes even further, asking God to display his power by forgiving the people's rebellion. Moses says, "Please pardon the iniquity of this people according to the greatness of your steadfast love, just as you have forgiven this people from Egypt even until now." Moses' intercession is a testament to his belief in God's boundless mercy and love. What we see in Moses' intercession is a leader who is willing to stand in the gap for his people, even in the face of severe rebellion and unbelief. His unwavering faith and steadfast leadership serve as guiding lights in times of fear and uncertainty. Through Moses' intercession, we are reminded of the power of faith and the importance of steadfast leadership. His actions show us that even in the midst of chaos and rebellion, there is always room for mercy, forgiveness, and redemption. Moses' intercession shows us the power of faith and the importance of steadfast leadership in times of fear and uncertainty. His story serves as a timeless reminder that faith can move mountains and forgiveness can heal the deepest wounds. Every action has its consequences, and the Israelites were no exception. In the book of Numbers, chapter 14, we see the Israelites grappling with the aftermath of their rebellion and wavering faith. Their actions were not without repercussions. God's judgment was swift and decisive. He deemed that for 40 years the Israelites would wander the wilderness, a year for each day they explored the land of Canaan. This was to be their punishment, their consequence. Yet nestled within this stern judgment, we see a glimpse of God's boundless mercy. He pardoned their sin. He could have wiped out the entire nation, but he chose forgiveness. He allowed the Israelites to live, to learn, to grow from their mistakes. This forgiveness, however, did not erase the consequences. The Israelites were still bound by their 40 years in the wilderness. While God forgave their sin, the Israelites had to face the consequences of their actions, a lesson that remains relevant to us today. Are you ready for the next chapter? Just click here to go straight to it.